Welcome back to Morning Live. Time now for your final look at your sport news on this Monday morning. Now, the base development programs in major sports around the world start very early while children are still in their informative years. Netball is no different, and through the Pep Mini Netball Festivals in partnership with the South African Schools Netball, they have designed a program for young girls aged between 7 and 10 to grow into the sport. To talk to us about this, we've roped in former Proteas Assistant coach and ambassador of this program. She needs absolutely zero introduction. It's Dumisani Chauke. Dumisani, always lovely chatting to you here on Sports and Morning Live.
Morning. Thank you so much for having me.
So we look at netball and the more we try to take strides into professionalizing the sport, the more the development of the sport also becomes important. How crucial is it for the youngsters between the ages of 7 to be exposed to a program like the Pep Mini Festival?
It's absolutely important, and I think Pep is doing a great job because there was a gap in that age group between 7 to 10. Most development starts at the age of 11, 12, 13, and then mostly then go into high school. So Pep decided that we want to take on that role to empower the girls while they're still 7. I mean, if you look at some of the best sporting countries in the world, their development starts at the age of 5, 6, 7, and that is how they hook their athletes in. And I think it's quite good that we are doing that for our girls in netball, and I know soccer development also does that, so it's a good step in the right direction for netball.
And you look at the fact that it's in 6 of the 9 provinces across the country. What would you say are the key focus areas? Because I've been to a number of netball games, and I remember when my niece started, and it's just bunching. It's just everyone bunching, chasing the ball, running with the ball. And you just like the footballs here.
Yes.
And we really just go and watch them for the love of just looking at them do what they love. So what are the focus areas when you have this festival?
So the Pep Mini Netball is in 2 phases. So there is the actual Pep Mini Netball Festivals where the girls come around and they play. And that is where the buzzing of energy starts at like 7 o'clock in the morning until like 2 o'clock. And then the other side of it is the Pep Mini Netball coaches sessions. So Pep is not only empowering young girls on the court, we're empowering the coaches as well. So the focus with the coaches is firstly to make it fun. Secondly, make it as basic as possible, because the more basics we teach at that young age, the better they will be as they grow into the sport. Also, I mean, talking about the bunching part and the footwork. So at that age, we don't really worry about the footwork. Yeah, we do teach them the fundamentals, but they will get it. But it's mostly you're teaching them about the basics in terms of channels. So everyone knows where on the court their position plays from, so that we eliminate the bunching and everyone understands, and also start learning the skills of decision making and anticipation skills to say, if the ball is coming down this side of the court, I'm the next one in line. And if the ball is coming down that side and I'm on the other side of the court and there's already someone there, I can't go there because there's someone there. So already they're starting to think, okay, we're not going to bunch, and now you're teaching them decision-making skills as well as anticipation skills.
And I think that's crucial, and I'll use an example which is more football. I mean, we had a professional footballer, Siyabonga Ngezana, speaking on Sport Night Amplified, and just saying that when he got abroad, he realized how the small things are the big things there, because if you get those right, then you can become a championship-winning team, you can become a championship-winning country, whereas sometimes we just neglect the small things. We're just like, it's not that important. Is this where we're trying to move to ensure that when the players eventually at some point get to a more senior level, they're not having to start back at the small things? Yeah,
well, with myself having been, at the high performance / elite level, where you are seeing the impact of the lack of basic skills training in a netball player, and at that level, whether it's at a high school, a university, or a senior level, having to go back and teaching them fundamentals, if that can be done at this age and right through primary school, then we're not having to repair and teaching them to unlearn and relearn all the time, then we are able to then just focus on performing and enhancing what they already have.
And for you now, when you look back at your career, I mean, you've had a phenomenal one. Do you think something like this would have played a role in making it slightly different for you, and also perhaps just you know, starting the love of the game for a very young, early on age and just growing into it, versus we have some kids now who are only at the age of about 12, 13, almost finishing primary school, being the first time that they really get exposure to netball.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you look at small townships like Malamulele, where I was born, had we had a program like this, I think we would have had way more superstars or Dumisani Chaukes coming through, you know. And the unfortunate part is that this kind of skills and this kind of programs currently are run in schools that can afford to pay the private coaching. But Pep Mini Netball has opened it up to all the schools in the different districts, in the different provinces that have signed up for Pep Mini Netball, that the coaches come there and they get upskilled. I mean, the Pep Mini Netball coaching sessions are run by Dr. Elsha Jordan and Minette Dempsey, who then runs, you know, the psychological, emotional part about coaching, which actually also opens up our coaches in terms of their thinking and realizing how they themselves, their persona, their energy, their aura affects and impacts the players that they are busy coaching on a netball court, whether they like it or not.
You speak about schools submitting. So how does the whole process work in terms of the schools where the Pep Mini Netball Festival takes place, the coaches that get to partake and get coached? How does that all work and how is that selection done?
So Pep Mini Netball has partnered with the South African Schools Netball Association. So they are the governing body of schools netball, all the way from primary right up to high school. So the schools that are registered in that district or in that province, they then get sent out the information to apply to be part of the program. And those schools that do show interest then get invited to either participate in the festivals or for their coaches to come and get upskilled. I mean, I was quite positively overwhelmed recently in Northwest, in Rustenburg, last week actually, where we held a coaching session and there were quite a lot of young coaches. I was so excited. I'm like, okay, we're doing something with Pep. I mean, the younger the better, you know, that means they'll have a longer lifespan of coaching. And yes, of course, we did have some senior coaches that came there open-minded and open to learning and willing to learn and see how they can improve their coaching skills when they go back to their schools.
And finally, as I wrap up with you, what's Dumisani up to now? I mean, I know, but our viewers at home don't know.
Okay, Dumisani is back at the Tshwane University of Technology. Well, I never left. HOD of Sport at the Garangwa campus, also responsible for Mbombela campus. Still doing my work with Pep Mini Netball, still doing work with Laureate Sports for Good, Brand South Africa, chairperson of University Sports South Africa Netball, and yeah, member of the SASCO Coaches Commission, though the work never stops.
It doesn't stop. And this is why you are the superstar that you are, ladies and gentlemen, Dumisani Chauke. I will not go through all those many titles she mentions and positions that she holds, but at the moment, really looking to building the next generation of young netball players and getting young girls to fall in love with the sport of netball between the ages of 7 and 10.